There's an old story my grandfather used to tell me when I was a kid. At that time, I didn't understand it. I thought it was just another fairy tale to keep me quiet. But now, years later, I realize it was one of the deepest lessons I've ever heard. And today, I want to share that story with you, not as a myth, but as a mirror, something you can reflect your own life onto. The story goes like this. There was once a boy who lived in a small mountain village where the sun seemed to avoid them. It wasn't like the sun didn't exist, it was just never strong enough. People lived in a constant half-shadow, warm enough to survive, cold enough to suffer. The boy grew up watching the grown-ups complain, watching his friends accept the darkness, watching life happen to them instead of through them, okay? And one day, he simply decided he was tired of waiting for the world to change. He was going to change it himself. So he climbed the tallest mountain, step by step, alone, without knowing what he was looking for. All he had was a belief, a crazy idea that if he could reach just high enough, he could grab the sun and bring it closer. Of course, when we hear that as adults, we think impossible, ridiculous. But that's the thing about children, they can't yet understand the limits that the world forces on us. And maybe that's why they sometimes accomplish the impossible. When the boy reached the top, he didn't find the sun waiting there for him. He found something else, clarity. He realized that the sun wasn't avoiding the village. The mountains were simply too high, the valley too deep, and the people had lived in the shadows for so long they forgot light was even possible. And that's where the twist of the story begins. 'Cause the boy didn't climb down disappointed. He climbed down with a mission. He started building things, reflective stones, angles, mirrors, little devices to catch even the faintest sunlight and redirect it toward the village. People laughed at him. They told him he was wasting time. They said the shadows had always been there and always would be. No, typical voices of fear disguised as logic. Okay, and I think many of us know exactly what that feels like. That moment when you want to start something new, your business, your dream, a habit, a new life, and the world responds, not with support, but with doubt. Sometimes, even the people closest to you will say, "What's the point?" Not because they want to hurt you, but because they never dared to believe for themselves. The boy kept building, failing, adjusting, retrying. Not once, not twice, but hundreds of times. And slowly, very slowly, the village began to brighten. First, a small beam of light, then a longer one, then one house, then 5. Then the entire valley began to glow for the first time in generations. And here's the part of the story that stayed with me the most. People didn't praise him. They didn't thank him at first. They didn't suddenly love the boy who brought the sun. Instead, they said, well, of course, it was going to happen eventually. And isn't that exactly how society works? You struggle in silence. You fight your battles alone. You climb your mountains with no applause. Okay. But the moment you succeed, everyone pretends it was obvious. The boy didn't do it for praise. He didn't do it for validation. He did it because he knew the village needed the light even if they didn't know it themselves. Sometimes, carrying the sun doesn't mean lifting something heavy. It means lifting people who can't yet lift themselves. Now, I want to shift from the story to real life for a moment. A few years ago, I had a period in my life where I felt like I was living in my own shadow valley. Not physically, but mentally. I felt stuck, trapped in routine, surrounded by people who had accepted a dim version of life. I remember waking up and thinking, is this it? Is this really what I want? And I'll be honest, Todd didn't have a big sun moment. I didn't have a sudden explosion of motivation. It started with something small. One step, one decision, one habit. I started reading for 10 minutes a day. I started waking up earlier. I started doing one thing daily that made me feel in control, even if it was tiny. And over time, those small reflections, my own little mirrors, began directing light back into my life. Here's something I learned. You don't need to change everything at once. You don't need to move mountains. You just need to tilt one mirror. adjust one angle, improve one thing. People today carry too much on their shoulders: stress, expectations, fear, self-doubt. But the boy in the story teaches something important. You can carry the whole sun at once. You carry it piece by piece, ray by ray. And if you're watching this right now, maybe this is your moment to ask yourself, what is your sun? What is the thing you want to bring into your life for the life of someone else, but you've been putting off because it seems too big? Maybe it's starting a new job. Maybe it's taking care of your health. Maybe it's fixing your finances. Maybe it's forgiving someone. Maybe it's forgiving yourself. Whatever it is, don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for permission, okay? Don't wait for the world to cheer for you. Start climbing your mountain today, even if you have no idea what you'll find at the top. Here are a few practical things that help me, and they might help you too. Life hack number 1. Start small, insanely small. The smaller the task, the easier it is to begin. Build momentum instead of waiting for motivation. Life hack number 2. Ignore early critics. People doubt because they're scared. Once you make progress, the same people will call you lucky. Life hack number 3. Build your own light. Don't wait for someone else to inspire you. Create systems, habits, routines that generate your own energy. Life hack number 4. Be patient with the process. The boy didn't brighten the valley in one day. Your life won't change in one day either, but it will change. As my grandfather said, everyone carries something. A burden, a wish, a dream, but only a few choose to carry the sun. So ask yourself, will you live in the shadows life gave you? Or will you climb, fail, adjust, and lift the light closer? The boy who carried the sun wasn't special. He was simply willing. And sometimes, willingness is all you need.